What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Real Reds Talk. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, you absolute legends. We have got a fantastic show lined up for everyone today on TikTok, on YouTube, wherever you're watching from, wherever you're just finishing work, on your way home, in the shower. I don't know what it is you're doing, whatever it is you're doing. We've got some good stuff to talk about. It is the turn of the new year, of course. You can see on my right hand side, if you're watching on YouTube, a couple of the news stories that we're going to talk about. So Jim Ratcliffe, crunch talks with Erik ten Hag. I want to dive into the discussion if you would keep him or not, and your reasons why, etc. And we'll dive into them. Also, I want to talk about Lisandro Martinez and Casemiro back in full training. Which is obviously amazing news. And then we have some transfer links as well. Some with Michael Olise, who a lot of people are raving about at the moment. He's in fantastic form for Crystal Palace. And a few other bits to talk about. So, as always, I need you lot to get in the comment section and to talk to me about it. And let's just bounce off each other. I just thought, half an hour basically talking about football, innit? You know what I mean? And then we'll take it from there. So, I'm going to kick it off with the Sir Jim Ratcliffe story. He was at Carrington today, I believe, doing his rounds. You could already see a couple bits of PR coming out around Sir Jim Ratcliffe in regards to, I think I saw a story, something along the lines of everyone's feeling really positive now. They've met Sir Jim and they're doing this and blah, blah, blah and all this kind of stuff. So you're going to get articles like that, but I don't think it's far from the truth. I think, something like this is definitely refreshing. I think the players have dealt or been under this regime, and obviously they're to blame equally, but they've been under this regime for a long, long time, and they need something. We need something. The people at the club need something. And look, some people are going to lose the job. Certain players are not going to be playing at Manchester United anymore. It's going to be a full clear out, I believe, at least. Now, we have James from the Muppeteers on tomorrow, who, when it comes to Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the whole kind of takeover situation, has been absolutely spot on. If anyone follows James from the Muppeteers, he's been bang on with everything. He even told us on the Friday when, obviously, before everything got announced, and everyone was raving about Qatar and saying, like, oh, it's still 50-50, blah, blah, blah. He literally said to us on a Friday before it got formally announced, I think it was on the Monday, that he was like, no, it's Sir Jim, as far as I've heard. And, the information he gets is really, really good. So I'm going to speak to him about that tomorrow and speak to him about the specifics. I think me and Sam are on that show together. And I really want to pick his brains as to the very specifics of what's going on. I can obviously give my take on it. Apparently I'm lagging really, really badly. Oh, don't say this, man. Why? Why am I lagging? No idea why. I heard you used to play for Newcastle. I don't know who you're referring to there. But, yeah, I don't know why I'm lagging on YouTube. It doesn't say I'm lagging. Interesting. What's going on? Oh, this is annoying. This is really, really annoying. Let me know in the chat on YouTube if I'm still lagging a little bit. Let me know. Apologies if I am. I mean, I'm just going to continue because there's actually nothing I can do if I'm live. So hopefully the audio is okay. But for people obviously on TikTok, it's sweet. I'll get onto Olise soon, and I'll get onto Lisandro and Casemiro because I think they're really, really important things to discuss. But for now, so Jim, Ineos starting to make the moves. If we're led to believe that obviously Jean-Claude Blanc is going to be the CEO. He's going to oversee a lot of stuff that's going on at the club. He had a fantastic record at Juventus, everything he did there, got him back to financial stability after the whole kind of scandal in Italy. And you got Paul Mitchell, who obviously was at Monaco, and he was at Southampton, he was at Leipzig, he was at Spurs. Really good at player identification, brings through, has a certain philosophy with players, and is really good at it. So he's supposed to be coming on board. Then you have Dan Ashworth, who's supposed to be coming on board as well. So if you're talking about an ultra team who you want to bring in and look at this, the past 10 years that have just been basically just shit recruitment in general, I think that is a super team to bring in. You want to get the best in class in each department, right? And I think most football clubs around the world would probably go for guys like this. I mean, Newcastle brought him in for a certain reason, but look, at the end of the day, they all work if United come to you and they say, we will give you, I don't know, footnotes, what, an extra 50 grand a year, or an extra, I don't know what kind of salary these guys are on, to be honest with you. I think it's going to cost millions, if anything, not thousands of pounds. So I think if they, if they turn around and offer that kind of money, then you're not going to say no, are you? At the end of the day, it's more money. People will say, oh, well, the project at Newcastle's really good and this and that. And it's like, come on. Do you know what I mean? So I think, first and foremost, that's a fantastic start. That is the first thing I think a lot of people said they would do. The past 10 years at United, the recruitment and the decision-making has just been far from anything you would ever expect of a club of the size of Manchester United. So I think that's a very smart thing to do. But does that automatically mean that once you get the things right in the sporting department, everything else will fall in line? Not necessarily. I mean, obviously it'll help. I think commercially they've done well in terms of just pure business revenue and profits. You look at the books on that, they've done okay. But you look at the debt that's lingering over the club. You look at the stadium. I know there's going to be investment in there, but I'm not sure if that's going to be, I don't think it'll be a stadium revamp, because that's going to cost billions. So even though they've been advised to do a stadium revamp, I think it's going to be more of I think what they're going to do is, where the Sir Bobby Charlton stand is, they're just going to kind of extend that bit there and modernise it a little bit around the stadium. Maybe fix the bogs because of the fucking leaking of piss. Maybe actually put some cheese on the paninis that they sell behind the thing and sell decent beers. That'd be a good start as well, wouldn't it? And signal in Old Trafford and little delicate bits like this. Obviously, when they're looking at their list, that's probably down on the priorities, the little things that I've mentioned there. But I'm just talking like for a fan experience. Just in my personal preference, people might prefer something different, but I would like the stadium being modernised, and I would like a nice experience. Now, people are going to absolutely grill me for this, and it's absolutely fine. I expect it. But I went to watch Coldplay at Man City, right? And the food, the hospitality there, miles better. Absolutely miles better. Obviously, the stadium's, meh. And, in terms of capacity, it's not Old Trafford, but I'm just saying, like, if you go to any stadium now, look at Tottenham Stadium, the hospitality you get there, it's not the same. It's not the same, and I think Old Trafford needs to get up to that level. I think the fans deserve it after the shit we've had to endure for the past 10 years, and that is where that's the starting point for me. I like the fact that Sir Jim Ratcliffe communicated with Must, even though that's not necessarily the whole fan base. They've put something out there, which is, if you're looking at the first thing to do when you're coming in and taking 25%, you're looking at what the Glazers haven't done. And what they haven't done is communicate with the fans. Yeah? So, by doing that, you're like, right, let's set the stall out. Let's let them know what we're going to do. Because, obviously, we're all anxious. We don't have a clue what's going on. We haven't really been told very specifics. We know the situation in terms of, who they're bringing in and things like that. But it's still a lot of detail to go through. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. I just don't think it's going to be a quick fix. I suppose is what I'm trying to say. I think it's going to take time. I think it's going to take years before you see a difference. And the problem is with that, a lot of people aren't willing to be that patient after, and rightfully so, because we've heard that every 2 years. New manager. We'll start recruiting this, we'll sort this out, a new guy's in charge now, Ed Woodward's gone, Richard Arnold's in, and it's just kind of, you're repainting the same fence in that sense. So, I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe's a stupid guy. I don't think Dave Brailsford's a stupid guy. He's going to have a huge role. And yeah, it's kind of a new year, start to hopefully a new life at Manchester United, but it's not certain. It's certainly not guaranteed that it's going to be, it's going to be super successful. So I think we just have to have patience with this. And I'm going to give it a year or two and see what real kind of impacts they have. And you would like to see, I don't know what they're going to do about Nice as well, because obviously Nice are in the Champions League. I know we're probably not going to get Champions League football this season, but I'm pretty sure Girona can't go into the Champions League, even though they're in the top 4, because Man City are in there. But then you have Leipzig and Salzburg, and I don't know, it's a bit of a headache in that situation, so I don't know what's going to happen there. How far is Elise to Man United confirmed? I'm going to talk about Elise towards the end, so don't worry about that. What's going on here? Why is me fucking... 1 second, I just need to get back into my account here. My YouTube's gone off. It's What are going on here? You know what? Setting up today has been a fucking nightmare. Anyone who runs OBS or has internet issues or just YouTube issues in general will know exactly what I'm talking about. A pain in the ass, especially when you've been on a busy shift as well. But here I am, right? So let's try to get this chat back on because it's doing my head in. It's doing my fucking head in. Let's confirm this, guys. 1 second. Whilst I'm live, which is always amazing. Except, yes, it's me. Thank you very much. Let's get this chat back up. It appears to have gone. Where's my chat gone? Where's it gone? I'll be with you in a second. Honestly, my brain today is fucking fried. Makiba. Yeah, dunno. Okay, right. Anyway, I'll continue. I'll read out your chats very, very shortly on YouTube when I can pull it up in a minute. I'm going to move over to Lisandro and Casemiro being back. Absolute massive news. I mean, to be honest, this probably should have been the headline because we have missed these players. I know a lot of people, especially rival fans, and I'm guessing people on TikTok as well, will be saying like, oh, they were shit before they got injured and da-da-da. And it's like, I've always stood by the fact that Casemiro wasn't shit. It was the way that Erik ten Hag was playing the system in the midfield. The way when he sets up, well, at the start of this season, he was setting up. He brought Mason Mount in, and the idea he wanted to play was you have Casemiro as your kind of lone six, and then you have two high-pressing eights, right? You have your Bruno Fernandes and you have your Mason Mount. Then that didn't work. That experiment didn't work. So Casemiro was left really exposed, and I think you could see that from the game against Spurs. Like, he was just so open, and Sarr, Basuma, Maddison were just running rings around him. And this experiment still continues, and it has done recently with McTominay, and we all discussed it. So I don't think it was Casemiro playing bad. I just think it was a case of, it's probably why he pulled his fucking hamstring, to be honest, because he's busy trying to fucking get here, there, everywhere. He's gone from Madrid with Kroos and Modric sitting in front of him to retaining possession all the time, to the opposite end of the spectrum where we're trying to press high up the pitch and he's just on his own. So that's why I think he was exposed. I think people, this may be a little bit controversial, but I think he'll come back and be the best player of the season for us. I think it's going to be that important. If Ten Hag stops being stubborn and trying to play that midfield the way he has been doing. Lisandro equally as well. I think that has an effect on everyone who's around him. So Onana's looked worse. I know the mistakes, trust me. I know about the mistakes, and I'm not giving him a free pass for that. But Onana, when you're trying to play out from the back, when you got Johnny Evans and Maguire in front of you, with all due respect, even Varane is not amazing on the ball. Who do you give it to? Do you know what I mean? Who are you confident in giving the ball to? I remember Johnny Evans in the game, I can't remember who it was against. It might have even been Liverpool, where he just fired it back to him because he panicked a little bit. And Onana was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what's going on here? So, I think Lisandro coming back in for that first phase build-up will be absolutely massive for Onana, and just brings that stability back. Because our defence was the best part about us last season. We had the best defence in the league. Most clean sheets in the league. And that's because we started every single game with Luke Shaw, Varane, Lisandro, and Wan-Bissaka for the majority, or at least the second half of the season. So Lisandro Martinez is my favourite player at the club. I think he dropped 7 out of 10 every single time when he wasn't injured. Obviously, a huge miss when he got injured against Sevilla, and then had a setback. But I'm hoping now he should be okay. Likewise with Casemiro, hamstring injury. I think Lisandro's was a metatarsal as well. So if they can stay fit, you got Mason Mount coming back as well, who I know a lot of people don't like. Just on Wan-Bissaka as well, quickly before I get, because news got announced recently. His contract has been extended. So yeah, I know he was kind of tinkering about with it. And I know Delo had an extension recently because this was going to run out in the summer. So I think his is going to 25 or 26. And then same with Wan-Bissaka, I think they extended it by another 12 months or so. So whether people are happy about that or not, I don't know. But players are coming back, which can only be a positive thing. I think Onana as well, which people will discuss whether it's positive or not, is staying for the Tottenham game and then flying out to the AFCON So Bayern Day sat there like, really, mate? Really? Like, when will I get a fucking game? Please. For the love of God. So, that's where we're at. Injuries back. Mount, Maguire, Lisandro, Casemiro, Mason Mount. I don't care what anyone says or what form you want to talk about or any of that nonsense. Having them players back will be massive for us. Will be hugely significant. So I'm really, really happy about that. I'm hoping we can turn our form around because everyone got overhyped, including myself. The Aston Villa game, best performance of the season, and then you go and lose to Nottingham Forest, and it's like it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? It does not matter at all. Any updates on Onana? Yeah, I mentioned it before. I don't know if you caught it, but Onana will be flying to AFCON after the Spurs game. So yeah, and then I think they're away for about a month roughly, depending on how far they go in the competition. So yeah, Onana will be in net against Spurs for anyone who's asking about that. Now, the question I want to ask, transfer news. Everyone always loves a bit of speculation, and it is silly season. We're like 3 or 4 days in to the winter window. First and foremost, everyone knows we don't do a lot of business in January, so that's straight off the bat. Second, we've already been linked to Choupo-Moting, Thomas Muller, Timo Werner, Marlon from Dortmund. There's a lot of German players for some reason. I don't know why. Now Elise says that the most recent one, as we're looking to kind of bolster that right-hand side, Antoinette hasn't worked out. Biggest waste of 85 million quid you'll ever see on the planet. Sancho is probably going to go back to Dortmund, and we're probably going to pay his wages. So to get a guy, I mean, that right-hand side of the investment is probably the worst you'll see in world football. Tell me a worst investment that's been spent on the right-hand side, and I will wait. Someone tell me in the comment section. There hasn't been one. 155 million quid. One of them is going back to Dortmund, and we're probably going to pay his wages and then end up selling him for like 30 million quid. So that's a huge financial loss straight off the bat. The other one is just no way near an £80 million player. If you would have paid 20 mil for him, you would have been like, oh, willing to be patient. Let's see how he grows. Someone saying Pogba in the chat, big up Dave. I mean, just specifically on the right-hand side as a winger. Any investment, talk to me. I don't see any worse than Anthony and Sancho for that price tag. I mean, so yeah, obviously they're going to look at that right-hand side and like, again, we need to invest more money. And I think Elise has had a fantastic season with Crystal Palace, scored some unbelievable goals. Seems like he has the capabilities and the personality to deal with a club like United, but we've said that about players before. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's going to be a lot of people in for him. For some bizarre reason, I just see him as an Arsenal player. And it's weird me saying that because they've obviously got Bukayo Saka and he's their star boy. So, I don't know, but they might want competition on that side. I'm not sure. I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I don't have a fucking clue. But I think Elise is a top player. I would love him at Manchester United. I don't know how much Palace would ask for him. I would probably say his value is 40 to 50 million quid, but in the Premier League these days, they're probably asking for like 70s, aren't they? Just kind of premium price, especially with it being United. So let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, how much you think Elise would cost, whether he would be a successor at Manchester United, or would you rather go for someone else as well? I think that's really, really interesting. So, he's got a £60 million release clause, apparently. Well, there you go. There it is. How much would you take for McSauce? How much would I take for McSauce? I said I would have taken... when West Ham, I think it was, who came in for him and he was offering 30 million quid, I was like, nah, hold out for 40. Now, I'm like... You know what, if we got offered 30 million quid, I'd probably take it, as long as they reinvested it in a smart way. And I don't know if I trust United yet to reinvest it in a smart way, so I don't know. How much would you take? How much would you take? His release clause has never been released. I think we should get him for 40 million. I think that's his value. I think that's what he's worth, for like roughly 40 million quid. But again, the inflation in the Premier League is just insane, isn't it? Like, they can just slap 60, 70 mil when someone's had a bit of good form and people will pay it. It's just the way football is at the moment. So, to be honest, there isn't any other outstanding right wingers that I look at where I'm like, go and get him. For me personally at the minute, not that springs to mind. I mean, if I sat there for 5 minutes, I could probably think of a couple. I know Shreyas is a massive fan of Kubo, who plays for Sociedad, who could play all across the front line. But for me personally, I want a centre-back. I really, really want a centre-back. The fact we missed out on Kim Min-jae was one of the biggest regrets for me, because I think he's a top-level centre-back. Good age profile, good, personality, attitude about him, and it looks like he's doing wonders for Bayern Munich. So, I think we missed the boat on that. For the price as well, 50 million, he's arguably like a 70 million pound defender, 80 million pound defender in today's climate, and I was gutted we missed out on that. So, I want a centre-back, whether they go for, a Todibo or Andre Silva. I'm not sure, I'm not entirely sure, but that is where I would start. I would also look at it as a striker, and again, it's a weird one. Obviously, we've been linked with Werner, but it's like getting Timo Werner in to solve your goal-scoring problems is like your jacket is set on fire and someone is just spraying you with aftershave to try and put it out. Do you know what I mean? It just does not make sense in the slightest. I've never understood this Timo Werner thing. Like, he cannot hit a fucking target. Someone just put thoughts on Werner in the chat. There you go. Perfect timing. Not a chance. Don't go anywhere fucking near him. Do you know what I mean? It's all good him going to the German league and banging in goals there and stuff. It's fair. I don't even know if he's doing that for Leipzig. I don't watch Leipzig, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I watched him enough for Chelsea to know that guy ain't your go-to guy if you want goals. Not a chance. That Guirassy looks good in the Bundesliga, but then I think, again, I've seen so many strikers have stints like that. I mean, Patrick Schick's looked amazing in the Bundesliga. I've seen other players, score a shitload of goals and then completely drop off the face of the planet. So, I don't know if I would personally go for someone like him. I don't know. Again, is there any outstanding striking options at United at the moment? I'm not entirely sure there is. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I'd love to see. Let's see what everyone's saying, because obviously there's going to be some thing here. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Make sure you subscribe to Real Red Talk. I really do apologise in the YouTube if there is network issues or whatever. I will sort that out. I promise you for next time. I have no idea why it's doing it, but I'll look into it. I promise. So if it is a little bit laggy, I'm sorry. I appreciate it. There's people staying in the chat, so you're a bunch of legends. Yeah, not a chance should we buy Timo. Mbappe to Liverpool or Madrid. He's definitely not going Liverpool. We are the worst club at letting players go for pennies. I agree with that. Mirror was reporting 60. I think we'll get 40 for him. He won't go to United, maybe Liverpool if Salah goes. I think, yeah, that's maybe a good shout, to be honest. I'm being realistic. I don't expect him to join United. I think where we're at the minute, I think they are going to have to box clever. And that's almost why Paul Mitchell, Ineos, and these kind of guys come in at the perfect time, because it's time to change your strategy now. With the strategy we've been doing, I wouldn't even call it a strategy. It's a compliment to call it a strategy. What United have been doing is effectively just, this guy's got a big name. We've been linked with Muller recently. That is a type of United signing. Big name, big wages. Either, the tail end of their career or just not good enough. That's who we've gone for, best part of 10 years. So they definitely need to switch their recruitment strategy up. And I think it could start with players, like the Guirassy. Maybe someone likes him. I remember when one of the first videos I did for Real Red Talk was on Julian Alvarez when he was still at River Plate. And we did a big video on that. And then 2 months later, he went to sign for Man City. So, and you look at that for 15 million quid. If he came in our team, he'd be one of our best players. And that's not even joking. So, we really need to switch it up. I'm not saying we can go down the same routes as Brighton or these kind of guys, because the thing is with these teams, they have time and patience to bed him into the squad and get used to the system, and then the expectations is no way near the same as what Man United is. So, when people are talking about, look at, Estepinian, let's say, for example, at Brighton, or look at Ferguson. I just feel like when players come in at United, the pressure's so high, and the threshold for results is just, it's honestly, it gets to him, and you can see players absolutely crumble. Look at Onana. Onana was the best goalkeeper in the Champions League for Inter Milan, and he comes to United and he looks like one of the worst keepers in the league. So the pressure, you say pressure makes diamond, but at United, it destroys players. We've destroyed so many good players. So, I don't even know the point I was making, to be honest. I got off on a bit of a tangent there, but you all take my point in it. You know what I mean? I think we should go for João Pedro, top player. Big fan of João Pedro. Where the fuck is my chat gone? This is really annoying me on YouTube. I don't know. I have to put it up on here. 2 secs, guys. 1 sec, actually. Can I get it on here? This is really, I'm like, it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. Right, yeah, I'll have to put it up in here. 1 second. Because I don't want to miss everyone's chat on YouTube, so let me pull it up. Right, let's read the chats. So, Elise has a release clause of 60 million, says Mango. DB Cooper says, I'm hoping Ineos have faith in this manager and they can share a United vision. I'm so tired of Man United's changes, it's exhausting. Tim99 says, just a little. Audio sounds like your mic isn't in, but it's fine. Video stops every 3 seconds. Jesus. Grill you for watching Coldplay or making it empty ad less empty. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, you know what? I'm just going to end this stream now. And I'll do a pre-record for you. I don't know what's going on with sound. I don't know what's going on with it, with the internet. I just don't know. I appreciate every single one of these, by the way. Thank you for staying locked in. I'm going to go sort these issues out, and then, yeah, I'll go do a video for you. Again, with the people in TikTok, obviously, you've had no issues, but, yeah. I'll chat to you soon. Subscribe to the channel, smash like on the video. I'm going to go sort this shit out, because it's pissing me off. You're all a bunch of legends.